like people would say like you have like your life
Yeah,
flashes.
your life flashes before
It did
your
not.
eyes.
We're totally present.
Yeah.
That
Just
moment.
squiggly lines. Yeah.
I saw purple and silver squiggly lines. I actually have a piece that looks like it, but it was not purple and silver. I tried doing purple and
you
silver. It
drew
was
it?
not cute.
Oh.
I painted it.
You're like, no, that's not cute.
Not
Yeah,
cute.
yeah.
That's not cute.
Yeah.
So it's a black painting that I have.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
black and gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw those lines and I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna die. This is probably gonna be it. I'm at peace. I accept it. I accept death.
That's awesome.
I said, I accept death. I accept you. It's fine. I'm like, at least I have, because this is when I just started off as an artist.
Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have an amazing guest. She's of Cambodian descent, born in Massachusetts and raised in Southern California, Alhambra, California. She moved to the Bay Area 7 years ago chasing love. The plan was only to stay for 1 year, but she fell in love with the Bay and all its creativity. She's a bartender manager at Lukas in Oakland. She's also an artist and a singer. She loves to express herself through cocktails, poetry, dancing, songwriting, and painting. She says painting is like her form of therapy. There's nothing like pouring yourself into a blank canvas and dancing that away. Welcome to the podcast, Alicia Touch.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes,
Thank
welcome.
You. I feel very welcome.
It's great to have you, right?
Thanks for having me.
No problem. I always like to start, we always like to start the podcast to kind of get to know somebody, starting from the beginning, right? It's very interesting to be born in
From the
Massachusetts. Yeah. I was watching The Goonies last night. I don't know if you've seen that movie, and they said, tell us everything. And he goes back to like third grade and stuff, right? But we're not going to go back to third grade.
I mean, we can.
we can if you want to. But I don't know. Just tell us a little bit about your upbringing, like, you know, basically living a couple years in Massachusetts and coming to Southern California.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. Born in Massachusetts, was there till I was 4 or 5. There's like a debate with my mom and my sister. My mom says 4, my sister says 5. It's an ongoing thing. I don't really remember too much about Massachusetts. I do remember the snow.
Yeah, of course.
I
right?
remember, apparently I went to Canada when I was around that age. My mom took me, and I don't even remember that.
You guys are pretty close to Canada up there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me see. Where do I start?
Wherever you want to start.
Wherever.
Whatever you want to share.
Let's see. I guess we could talk about my art since that's more prevalent right now. Actually, no. I'll talk about the accident.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
2 years ago, I got into an accident.
Okay.
And I got T-boned in a Lyft.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
In a Lyft.
In a Lyft.
So it wasn't even like you had no chance.
It wasn't her driving.
Yeah.
No.
just-
No,
Wow.
yeah. The driver was... I probably shouldn't be talking about how he was driving, but
Yeah.
we
Wasn't
got
very
we got,
safe,
No,
right? Yeah.
we were crossing. I believe the street was Peralta, and there was one car on the road, 10 in the morning.
My
and
gosh,
he
just
did
one
not-
car on the
just
road.
one car on the road, and he wasn't paying attention. And we got T-boned, and I basically, the car spun out. My body got lifted up and smacked back down onto the seatbelt. And all I remember is people just like, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Like, wake up. And I just couldn't. Like, I had no control of my body at all
Wow.
whatsoever. But I heard people talking, and
Okay.
I saw the people.
So you were
but
conscious.
I was kind of. I mean, like,
conscious.
all I saw was blurred lines. It was kind of horrific. And all I remember is after I came to, or before I became unconscious, I saw my ID. I saw my little wallet, like, because it flew across the seat, and I was like, I'm gonna need that for the hospital. I'm gonna grab it. I didn't have any strength, but I gathered up my strength, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Grabbed it, put it in my purse, and then like that's when I just like completely blacked out.
Wow.
And like got knocked unconscious, and people were trying to wake me up the whole entire time, and I just couldn't. It was probably like, I want to say probably 10 or 15 people were trying to wake me up, but I just couldn't move my arms.
Were these like strangers? Like just helping
just
out?
people from the street just coming through, and it was like, wake up. Like,
Do you know how
what's your
long you
name?
were unconscious for?
I don't know. It felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing blurred lines. I do, like, it was like purple and silver blurred lines, and I was like, what is happening right now? Yeah, my mom was just like, it's probably like the spirit telling you.
Yeah. Stay away from the light, right?
Yeah. And I was just like,
stay conscious.
Yeah, it was intense. And then I remember the EMT, because I wasn't waking up. One of the EMT just came and like hit me in the chest really hard.
Oh shoot!
And I was like, what the? I was like, are you serious right now? Like, and it hurt because I had the seatbelt injury, so it was really painful.
Yeah.
And gosh, it was.
So do you know if that was the what are they called, the electric things to get you, or was that
no?
him
It was
doing CPR?
No, it was. He just like hit me in the chest.
He wasn't even doing CPR or anything.
No, he just hit me in the chest.
Oh wow!
I mean, apparently that's what they do to
wake you up.
Yeah,
basically.
to wake you up.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So here, let me punch you again to get you up.
I mean, I woke up.
Yeah,
I definitely woke up,
Yeah,
but it
you're
was
awake.
intense. It was intense, and I remember them pulling me out of the car, and I was in so much pain. I was in agonizing pain. I couldn't even get out. I was like, I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it hurts too much. Stop. Just stop. Stop. And they're like, we have to remove you from the car. And I thought like I broke my leg.
Oh my god!
Because that's how it felt. It felt everything was in excruciating pain. They throw me onto it felt like they threw me onto the gurney because everything was so painful.
Yeah, you were very sensitive.
Yeah, and even just them like strolling me into the ambulance, that hurt. And I remember one of the guys he was like, well, we're gonna have to remove like your dress.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a romper, so they had to like, and it was my favorite dress.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Yeah, and so
You're like, oh my god, my favorite
had
dress.
to cut it open down the middle, and I was like,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is all happening right now.
Not only am I in pain, but now I'm basically
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
Everything is exposed.
Wow.
Yeah. So then they basically cut up my dress, cut up my jacket. And I was just so mad at that guy. I was just like, you're the one that hit me in the chest after an accident. He apologized for it, but I'm like, you're apologizing for it, but I don't hear the sincerity in your voice.
Did he explain why he did it?
Yeah, to get me out of being unconscious.
Okay,
yeah.
so at least he explained, like, you know.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a jerk. And I'm like, yeah, but you are.
Is he one of the EMT guys?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
he's one of the paramedics.
Got it.
It's crazy
really
because you were like semi-conscious throughout the whole thing.
Semi,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, so you weren't fully, but you were still kind of conscious enough to
Yeah.
grab your ID, to see
That
the
was
lines.
initially, that was like right when upon impact, and I saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna need this. I didn't have my phone because it was like the magnetic type of phone that onto the like wallet, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my phone was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, just gone.
But I saw my wallet, and I was like, I need it. I need my ID.
Yeah.
So, and they kept trying to ask me at the hospital, like, are you, like, can you call work? Do you remember that? I'm like, I'm like, everybody has an iPhone now. I don't remember anybody's number,
Yeah, that's
you
true,
know?
huh?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're just like, can you call somebody? I'm like, I can't even think straight right now.
Yeah.
So I just had them call work, and yeah, I was supposed to actually work that night. I had a bartending shift.
Yeah.
And I didn't show up, obviously, and everybody was worried. And when they found out, messages came pouring in,
Yeah.
and people were trying to visit. But because of that accident, so basically, I had contusions all on my left side, like bruises everywhere. I had a small fracture in my lower back. Now I have like bulge discs in my neck because of it.
Yeah. I have herniated disc in my lower back, so I know how that's painful.
Oh gosh,
yeah.
it's not fun.
No, not at all.
It's not fun.
No.
And it's like forever going to be present in your life now, you know?
Well, I actually have an herbal healer that helped get rid of my pain, so maybe I can refer. He gave me some teas. I had pain for 15 years, and no doctor could fix it. 2 months after I drank his teas, 90% of the pain was gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do have an acupuncturist that.
Yeah, he's an acupuncturist
yeah.
too. But this guy was like trained in China and trained in France, like for the herbal. Like he makes these teas out of herbs.
Yeah.
So I'll ask him. He's retired, but I mean, he loves to help people. That's his passion. So
that'd be
I
awesome.
mean, lots of stories of people I know he's changed their life by helping them get rid of pain or stuff like that. So if it can help, because I know how painful that stuff is. So
yeah, I'm constantly on the foam roller, and I'm constantly doing yoga, and
that's good though.
I have like this fascia tool that I use as well. So I do a lot of like, body work, but it's still prevalent. Like the pain is always prevalent.
The nerves and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not my young spry self anymore.
Yeah. Well, we'll hopefully try to get you back to that.
Oh, appreciate that.
So from this accident, is there anything that positive that came out of it, or anything you learned from it?
Yeah, I mean, I was incapacitated. I had an immense amount of love that came it came flooding in. Everybody was like, do you need anything? Because I couldn't move. My sister and my mom came to take care of me. My mom stayed with me for 2 months to take care of me.
Okay. So your mom came from where?
From SoCal.
Oh, so your mom's still in Southern California?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
she's in Montclair right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but she stayed with me for 2 months and helped me throughout the whole entire thing. And
that's awesome.
Also my friends, they just came by and like bought me food, bought me a bunch of CBD products.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, you need this. And yeah, it really helped. I mean, just the love itself from people helped me heal.
Yeah.
I think a lot quicker than normal.
I got the news on Facebook.
Yeah.
We weren't close at that time, but we were already friends. And I was like, what the heck is happening? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm glad you're okay. You're alive.
Yeah.
But that was crazy.
Yeah. T-bone's no joke.
Yeah.
T-bone is like when you get hit in the back.
No side.
Right in the middle.
Oh,
right in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my chiropractor was telling me how on the left side, we don't have a lot of like structure on the left. We have structure on like strength in the front and the posterior, not on the side. So when you get hit on the side, that's why I was incapacitated for 2 months.
It's basically vulnerable.
Extremely vulnerable. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So I still feel pain on my left. Like I can't sleep on my left side because it hurts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Even
crazy.
it's been 2 years and it still hurts.
You know what's funny is I can't sleep on my right side. It hurts on my side. I don't know if that's from my back injuries or just recently. Like I can only sleep on this side because I go on this side and it starts to hurt. Like just hurt.
It's possible. It's far connected.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, that's crazy.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, glad you're okay.
Connected.
Because T-bone could have been a lot worse than that.
Yeah. One of the nicer paramedics, he came and gave me my phone and he was like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm in a neck brace and I can't move and I have to pee in a bedpan. So like, I'm great.
Yeah.
Everything's fantastic.
Oh, awesome.
I'm in the ER and I was hearing crazy people. Like this one guy who was like on heroin and
my gosh.
You were in Oakland, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
it was
Highland.
Oh, jeez, I'm sure that place is crazy in the ER at night. Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep. I was in the ER for 2 days, could not sleep, barely could eat. I like would drink water and they tried to give me juice and the juice didn't sit right with me and since they were like, injecting IV into me, I kept having to use the restroom. It was a nightmare. Wow. Like to not be able to move. I was just like, wow, this is how it feels to,
be paralyzed basically almost.
Paralyzed. I felt like I was paralyzed because I couldn't move anything. Couldn't move my arm. I couldn't move my legs. Everything was, But anyway,
you're still here? Yeah.
I'm still here. So the positive, to answer your question, positive thing that came out of it was the love that got poured in.
Yeah. That's huge though.
It's huge.
Because imagine if you go through something like that and there's like no love.
Yeah.
Like that would be horrible.
Yeah, I thought about that too. My mom was like, wow, you have a lot of friends out here in Oakland. And I was like, yeah, Mom.
Yeah,
why do you think I'm surviving? Why do you think I've been here for 7.5 years? Like I cultivated my own family out here.
Yeah, I remember asking you one time, like, hey, what's your favorite thing about the Bay? And you said community.
Yeah,
and it's
definitely.
So true. You got that.
It's still
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So do you think the East Bay is more of a community than here, like maybe the South Bay? Because I grew up here in the South Bay, and I don't see too much of a community here. I don't know if it's because it's the Silicon Valley.
I think because it's so spread out.
Yeah, but also too, the Silicon Valley is like. So I grew up in San Jose, right? but it's not the San Jose that I grew up in. It's a lot of engineers and people from tech that flew in from all parts of the world, and they're buying up all the houses. And the people that actually grew up in this area, they don't live here anymore. They live like in Sacramento and Central Valley, stuff like that. Like, I do know my two neighbors because luckily they're still around, but pretty much most of the rest of the block and all around,
all new folks.
it's all new folks. Like, and they call it ICE. Indian Chinese explosion, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I don't know. You guys leave it in the comments if you think the East Bay is more of a community, but also too, there's a lot of gentrification of the East Bay as well.
Yeah.
But it seems to me like from all the people I'm starting to get to know from the East Bay, there's a lot more creative people, a lot more artsy people,
Oh, definitely,
and that's more of like people that would maybe create like a community or be like more part of a community. Would you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, working in a restaurant, I mean, I meet that's just our steady money flow, right?
Right.
Everybody else is always doing something else.
Yeah.
Everybody that I work
Side
with
hustles,
is
right?
they're either artists, musicians, you know, writers. Like, we all have like a creative outlet, and that's just the most flexible job to have, being a creative.
Right.
Being a creative.
Like restaurant service, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. And it's not easy. It's definitely not an easy job.
Yeah.
But it's steady money. But yeah, community in Oakland, I love it. It's what keeps me there.
I
It's what keeps
definitely
me there.
agree. I agree with that. Community in Oakland is huge. I have a lot of friends, and I don't even live there.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
part of so many communities, and I
Yeah.
don't even live there.
But you grew up in Oakland, right?
I grew up in. I used to live in Richmond, San Pablo, Vallejo.
So East Bay, but not Oakland.
Yeah, I used to go to.
East-ish,
I used to go to school in Oakland, Laney College for
Okay.
photography. Shout out to Laney College.
Yeah.
And I worked in Berkeley for a few years.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why I was like, man, I grew up in the East Bay.
So not Oakland, but most of the East Bay.
Yeah, for
okay.
sure.
So let's go back to Southern California, because you mentioned your mom is still there and all that, and you mentioned you went there when you're 4 or 5, still debate, right? Yeah. You remember 5, but your sister, you remember 4, but your sister remembers 5?
My mom remembers 4, and my
Okay.
sister remembers 5, I believe.
Okay, so 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
So talk about that, because obviously you're very, very young, but you went from
Not very, very young.
but back then you were, right?
Okay.
So you went from snowy
Yeah.
East Coast to always sunny and nice Southern California.
Yeah, always sunny and
California.
So what was it like growing up in Alhambra, Southern California?
ooh. Great food. Great Chinese Vietnamese food. There's obviously a huge Chinese Vietnamese that was prevalent out there. So I was like the only Cambodian. My family was like the only Cambodian family, so we were like the dark Asian, you know. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of like kind of like colorism out there.
Really?
Yeah. And
That's true. They say there's racism in like almost every culture. It's like
oh yeah,
crazy.
for sure, especially
Yeah.
in the Asian culture.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah,
Tell us
so-
about that.
Really? In the Asian culture?
Oh yeah,
Well,
completely.
I am Asian, but all my friends are everything. Everyone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean that's what the beauty of the Bay. That's why I love it
Yeah,
out here so
exactly.
much. Out in LA, it's very small-minded, very narrow-minded. People are, you know, they think what they want to think, or they're conditioned to think what they want to think
Yeah.
about people. So my family would always be like, we would get taunted at, like, oh, you're the dark Asian, or you're like the blacks of the Asian. Like,
Wow.
they'll say stuff
Really?
like that. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. But so we have that stigma. Like, my family has that stigma
Yeah.
because of it. I mean, my family wanted to live in Alhambra because it's, it's a very
it's nice.
suburbs. It's nice. It's good schools. But yeah, it wasn't easy growing up there.
Yeah. If you think about that, I mean, so people out there, it's not just, it's everywhere, I guess, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
It really
I never
is.
thought about that, but it is true. I mean, I grew up here in Campbell, and when we moved here in 1989, there was only 2 Hispanic families on the whole block. So I was like, we
Yeah.
were like the dark of this area, you know?
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because I ended up becoming best friends with the other Hispanic kid, which is, I don't know if it just kind of worked out that way. We
Yeah.
felt like we whatever. But they're more Americanized than anything. We're both more Americanized than
Right.
anything. But when I went to school, it was mainly Caucasian, right? And so I came from the east side of San Jose, which was very diverse, basically Vietnamese and Mexican. Back in the 80s and 90s, San Jose was Vietnamese and Mexican, East San Jose, right? To now coming to Campbell, which is like mainly Caucasian, right? So, but you know, I was fortunate. I don't know if you call it fortunate or whatever, but let's just say I looked white as a kid. Yeah. So everybody thought I was white. So I didn't really feel like that until I saw racism happening to my friends, because I'd hang out with all the Mexican kids, right? And then I would see it happening. So I think I kind of understand a little bit. It's more like colorism than racism, actually, right?
Yeah,
it's weird.
I feel yes.
I mean, I think it happens in every culture, even, you know.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
Definitely does. But yeah, that was growing up in Alhambra for me. But I mean, I love it there.
Yeah.
You know,
Southern California is awesome.
Southern California is beautiful.
Alhambra close to? What's
Pasadena? It's like 5 minutes south. 5 minutes south.
Pasadena is really awesome too.
Yeah. No one ever knows when I say Alhambra. They're like, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
you're like Pasadena. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I think I drove past by it, but I didn't stay there.
Yeah, on the 10.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it's funny because I lived in, like I was telling you earlier, I lived in Southern California almost a decade, right? So I lived in West Covina and Diamond Bar. Right. And West Covina and Alhambra are kind of on the same freeway.
Yep, on the 10.
Just a little bit more. So I learned that if you just know the major freeways that go north, south, east, and west, you could pretty much get anywhere, right? But depending on where you live, it's like which freeway you need to be on, right? So the 10 was the one that was like Alhambra, West Covina, even to Diamond Bar-ish, kind of, right? Well, actually, Diamond Bar was a 60, but Pomona. Yeah. So do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 2 older sisters and 1 older brother.
Okay. So you're the baby.
I'm the baby.
Oh.
And I'm the one that moved away.
Oh, wow. So what's it like being the baby of the family? Especially a Cambodian family.
Oh, okay. Heavy question.
Yeah. We had like an hour conversation
in the car.
Really?
On the ride here.
Like
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to share it.
Yeah.
You know.
Whatever you want to share.
Yeah, it's up to you.
It's all up to you.
Let's see.
Consent.
So, okay, what was the question again?
Like, what was it like growing up like the baby of the family, especially Cambodian family?
I mean, I feel a lot of people would say that the person that's a baby of the family gets spoiled, right?
Usually, right?
Usually, I don't think I got spoiled. I think. Well, I had a lot of chores.
Okay.
I had a lot of chores.
Put you to work, huh?
Yeah, I had a lot of chores. I couldn't go out unless I did the dishes. And they would always leave a stockpile for me.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane.
So you were the baby, a lot of chores. Did that teach you like work ethic?
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah,
I feel think that's kind of what they were doing, or it was just because you're the baby make you do all the chores?
I think my sister probably wanted to ingrain that in me and was like, be a hard worker. If you're a hard worker, then you'll get stuff. You'll be successful. You know? And I'm hella OCD now about it because I just like certain things. I'm like, oh, I need to do this and I need to get this done. So I have like a list in my head, and if I don't get it done, it'll like drive me crazy.
Right.
And I have my sister to thank for that.
Well, there you go.
And so that's the reason why. Right? Like, shout out to my sister, Mary King. She's a Cambodian artist. She's a Cambodian singer.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. She's famous.
So singing runs in the family.
Yeah. My dad's a singer. My sister's a singer. My sister actually, she did a little tour around the nation. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's her singing name?
Mary King.
Mary King? Okay.
King. Yeah.
King.
So, King.
K-A-N-G. K-H-E-N-G.
Oh, King. Okay. Yeah.
King. Yeah.
So Mary King. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So okay, so she taught you the work ethic, and
she did.
A singer.
She's a great singer, and she's a great human being. She has like foundations in Cambodia.
Wow.
Well, she's a part of several foundations, and they donate to Cambodia, and they make wells. They create wells because it's beautiful. People would have to walk really far.
Amazing.
Oh yeah,
right.
Amazing.
People would have to walk really far to get fresh water. So she created this foundation where people would donate and create wells so that people don't have to walk as like hours away.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And she also she does a lot. This is her heart, is to give back to people in poverty in Cambodia, because she was that one person. Well, let's talk about my sister. She was that one person that she came she basically ran away from like the Khmer Rouge.
Oh, so she was
Pol
part
Pot.
of the whole.
She was 5 years old.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So
She
it
was
impacted
5
her
old.
greatly.
Yes, she was 5 years old. She was holding my sister, my second sister.
Wow.
She was a baby, 5-year-old holding a baby,
Yeah, a kid basically holding another
Yeah.
kid. Yeah.
carrying her all the way to like, I believe Thailand, where they were going to get away from it.
My gosh.
Yeah, my family's gone through a lot, but she's since then. I mean, she tells me that story all the time.
Yeah.
And she like wants to ingrain it in me. She's like, I've gone through so much, and I'm trying my best to give you guys a better life. So she bought us a house in Alhambra, and she took care of the family pretty much.
Yeah.
Tried to give us a better life than she did. So her whole dream is to give back to the poverty.
That's amazing.
Because she was like, I was that poor kid.
Yeah.
You know? So she's like, I know how it feels to be poor and to have nothing and to have tires as shoes.
Wow.
You know, to run away from the war. And it just breaks my heart, like, just hearing about it all the time. But also I'm so grateful for my family to endure that.
Yeah.
It's insane what they went through.
It's very inspiring, and
Exactly.
I do believe that she's living her purpose.
She
It's
is.
amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's an amazing singer. So it's the fact that she's a singer and she's like promoting all these foundations and giving back and donate, like having people donate for special causes for whatever it is. She'll like have people donate to like certain families or like a school and it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, I've gathered up my friends and we raised like about like $400 to give to the kids in Cambodia. We were supposed to give to a school, but the pandemic happened. So then we ended up just giving it to the kids of the school and, like,
Okay.
and their families.
Yeah.
Well, we can actually put something in the description if people want to help donate to the kids in Cambodia.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
so
For the
beautiful.
podcast, yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Is
My
your
would love
sister
that.
in the Bay Area? Or
She's in SoCal as
okay,
well.
SoCal,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
She's
Alhambra?
I think she's in Baldwin Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love
you know.
to meet her one day. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, she has stories for days, and she
Yeah.
will talk you up.
I would love that.
Talk
You
you
know,
girl.
I think
Yeah.
I think you kind of felt like they were rough on you, but I think from what your older siblings kind of went through, I guess they were like, you know, we went through a lot.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Maybe they kind of felt like, man, you're lucky because you
No,
grew
for
up here
sure,
and
for
you didn't
sure.
have to go through this.
Yeah,
you know?
I was like, I'm
They
first
want you to
generation.
appreciate everything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
not your fault.
Right.
Yeah, it's not your fault that you grew up here, you know.
Yeah.
But I think they were kind of like, you know, we're gonna make you appreciate stuff.
Yeah.
I think they were
Give you-
like training you in a certain way.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
be mentally tough, maybe too.
Yeah,
Love that.
they were trying to give me that thick skin that I needed, and now,
Did it work?
oh, I mean, her plus Oakland, yeah.
Well, I mean, it
Five and oh.
just by the fact how you were talking about with the car accident, like you were
Yeah.
still like, you weren't like freaking out. You were like, oh, I need my ID, I need this.
Oh,
that
gosh,
just tells
yeah.
me you're actually
That's
pretty
like a
mentally
lot
tough.
of willpower
Yeah.
right there.
I just remembered during that moment when because I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
because a part of me was like, because I couldn't move my body.
Yeah.
I couldn't move my body. All I saw was these squiggly purple silver lines. I don't even understand what that was.
That's
and I saw like
crazy.
people in the background. I could hear people. And they kept trying to wake me up. And I just couldn't. Like, my eyes were closed, but I saw what was happening. But my eyes were closed.
Wow.
It was like-
maybe you were outside of your body.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
maybe.
I've had an out of body experience before too.
Maybe that's what it
Because
was.
we're
yeah.
just a soul having a human
Right,
experience,
yeah.
right? Or we're a
We're-
spiritual being. Yeah.
Yeah. This
That's
is just,
crazy.
our body's just a vessel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you popped out for a second. And
Maybe.
you were like,
I didn't think about that.
that's crazy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Revelations
Yeah.
after revelations this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So that I couldn't move my body, and I just felt myself. I was just like, my
Yeah.
arms were dangling, and then I was like, okay, this is probably gonna be it. This is probably gonna be.
What was that like? Like, I mean, I've never had a near death experience, but
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about like what was going through your mind? Like
Yeah. Definitely
And
gonna
who
touch
were,
crazy.
is there anyone that you were thinking about during that time?
No. So for me, and like people would say, like you have like your life flashes.
Your life flashes
Yeah.
before
It
your
did not.
eyes. You're like,
It's totally present.
Yeah.
That
just
moment.
squiggly lines. Yeah.
I saw purple and silver squiggly lines. I actually have a piece that looks like it, but it was not purple and silver. I
So
tried doing purple and
you
silver. It
drew
was
it?
not cute.
Oh.
I painted it.
You're like, no, that's not cute.
Not
Yeah,
cute.
yeah.
That's not cute.
Yeah.
So it's a black painting that I have.
Oh, that's
It's black
awesome.
and gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I saw those lines and I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna die. This is probably gonna be it. I'm at peace. I accept it. I accept death.
That's awesome.
I said, I accept death. I accept you. It's fine. I'm like, at least I have, because this is when I just started off as an artist or becoming known as an artist.
Okay.
And I think I had one art show.
So your career was taking off.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had one art show.
I've always thought that bartending it's an art.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Mixing the cocktails and learning how to have a conversation with people, basically being their therapist and stuff.
Yeah.
too.
I mean, mixing cocktails is like a whole game in itself. There's some good bartenders and there are some shitty bartenders.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Too sweet, too bland, too much alcohol.
So like a lot of people would come for my cocktails, not to like toot my own horn.
Yeah.
But you
It's
know,
okay.
I make a pretty good cocktail.
Well, you know, they say the results are like someone's funeral or when someone's hurt. That's when you know that someone really made an impact. How many people show up.
Right.
So obviously you've made an impact because
Yeah.
when you were in the greatest need, a lot of people showed up
Yeah.
for you, right?
Yeah. it
So your
was a
cocktails
beautiful
must have
thing.
been really good.
They just came for the cocktails.
Yeah.
Like, when are you gonna get better so you
they're
can
like,
make me a
I
cocktail?
know, come on, man. Like, I need my old fashioned. Get
Let's
back,
be
Kelsey.
real.
Yeah. So talk about though. You talked about energies and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
so the energies that come into the restaurant and to the bar. I mean, I used to work late night on Friday and Saturdays, which is like 10 to 2 in the
Like
morning.
they say the freaks come out at night, right?
Yo, it was always a shit show.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
people are when they become like little babies when they're drunk,
That's
you
true,
know?
right? Yeah.
That's true.
Like they're just like, wait, I want this,
Yeah.
I want this now. How come you're not giving me attention?
The liquid
It's
courage,
always,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like yeah. People would come and just stare at me just to get my attention. And I'm like, dude, I'm busy. I can't have a conversation with you. I was able to have a conversation with you during lunch because it was slower, but when it's past 10 o'clock, no. But it's just like a lot of crazy like energies. There's a lot of crazy people that come in and a lot of fights would happen.
Wow.
I've witnessed
At a restaurant?
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Because we have we also have a club. Like it's a
Oh,
restaurant. We have
gotcha.
we also have a club on the
Yeah.
other
Converts
side.
to a club, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, after 10 o'clock.
Oh.
So that's why
So that was
we
the
have,
cutoff, right?
Yeah, that's when we have like a lot. Like I always tell my regulars, I'm like, don't come in here after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like just stay
Yeah.
away.
Stay away,
You'll
yeah.
be safe. Yeah, it's just it's interesting because
Yeah.
I have grown. Speaking about thick skin, I've grown such thick skin working there. Just people coming at you and just being so demanding and so entitled.
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, why do you think that you can treat people like that? Like, I'm a human being.
Yeah.
And my most famous line that I would say, because people were just like, they would yell at me
Wow.
and like bark drinks to me,
Yeah.
right? And I look at them and I'm like, do you yell at your office to your coworkers like what you want? And they look at me and they're like,
I didn't expect that.
and I'm like, I'm a human being. Treat me
Yeah.
like a human being.
Wow.
You know?
So you put him in check.
Oh yeah, I've put so many guys in check. There was one guy who barked an order, and I'm like, "Excuse me, what did you want?" And he was just like, "A Jameson ginger ale." I'm like, "Hi, how are you?"
Wow. Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm like, you don't have to bark your orders at me. Like I'm not going to give you your order if you yell at me."
So bar etiquette, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And he was just like, "Oh, she wow, I just wanted a drink." And I'm like, there's a way to ask for something.
Yeah.
You don't just yell orders. Like, come on,
So can you tell
be a civil human being.
all the watchers and listeners out there what's a
Yo,
good way to treat bartenders and people in the
Etiquette.
bar?
What's a good etiquette? Yeah.
Be patient. One,
Okay.
the bartenders are always doing something.
Yeah.
They either have like 5 or 10 drinks in their head that they're already working on.
Yeah.
So just be patient with them. They see you. That's our job, is to notice who is at the bar.
Right.
We see you. We will get to you when we have the chance.
Okay.
Do not wave your hand. Do not say A. Do not yell out, "Excuse me," because we see you.
Okay.
Unless it's like, championship during the Warriors, and we probably don't see you.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, in
But-
Oakland.
yeah.
Yeah.
So use common sense, basically.
Exactly. No, I mean, you would say common sense,
It
but
ain't too common these days.
no.
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 Yeah.
Well, I
Not at
think
all.
that Oakland and your bar is very blessed to have you. have someone like you. You're teaching people how to behave.
Yeah. Oh no, I have to put people in check.
That's
and
great.
it's, it's not always easy, because sometimes people will like act out, or they're like, let me speak to the manager, and I'm like,
Yeah.
we can
I
have
am
a
the manager.
we can have a conversation,
you're
right?
I am the manager.
Yeah, you're talking to her. What do you want?
Yeah. It's just like, just be human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Treat me like a human. You're a human. We're all human. Like, come on.
So-
it's not that serious. It's a drink.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not that complicated. It's a conversation.
Exactly,
Make a conversation with me.
So
Yeah.
bartending, is it something that you like, a career you wanted, or like you said, it's just the best career for an artist to give you more flexibility?
So the money's great.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As a bartender.
Cash too.
Yes, cash.
Yeah.
The money is king.
Yeah.
And,
cash is king.
Yep.
Maybe
And,
not anymore, but yeah.
It's always been kind of like a dream of mine. It's
Okay.
weird dream.
Not weird.
But
To be a bartender?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Have you watched that movie Cocktail with Tom Cruise from the 80s?
yeah.
That's
Cocktails,
like
yeah.
made bartending
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not that type of
Yeah, you're
bartender
not,
where
like,
I'm
flipping
like,
stuff. Yeah.
I'm
But
not
still,
a show off.
yeah.
But I do show off.
There you go. You're like, hold on.
I
Yeah.
show off, like, with the way I look.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no.
So you're a mixologist, is what they call it, right?
Oh gosh.
You don't like that?
All
You don't like
bartenders hate that word.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, hey, bartenders hate that word. What would they
We're not
rather
saying
be
that word
called?
again.
Just bartender?
Just bartender.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It's very pretentious to be
Okay.
called like a mixologist, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, if you want to be called a mixologist, it's because you've put the time and the effort to like
Gotcha.
know each and every spec for every little cocktail, you know.
Gotcha.
So it literally is an art form.
Yeah.
People there are people, their career is just bartending, and they are spectacular.
Yeah.
They create tinctures, they create like, bitters, and they make their cocktail like to a T,
Yeah.
like with as far as like the garnish goes, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's a beautiful thing. I've met so many beautiful people and so many like artistic people because of bartending, and it's a really tight knit community with bartending. A lot
Yeah.
of people, a lot of the bartenders were all homies.
Yeah, that's
you
cool.
know,
It's a community.
It's a beautiful community,
You know,
and
you mentioned something real quick, because I love to cook. And then someone said
love
to
to
me,
cook too.
cooking is a form of art.
oh yeah, definitely. Hell,
So
chef,
bartending, cooking, it's all art.
yeah.
If you're an artist, it's just a different form.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, bartending is, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of like heavy labor.
Yeah.
Lots of labor.
What's the-
labor of love.
What's the most labor intensive part of bartending?
Kicking drunk people out.
So you have to do that? There's no security for that?
We do have security, but during the
But
day
you're
we
the
don't always
initial,
have.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. I usually as the manager, that would
Yeah.
have to kick them out. But if the manager isn't around and the security isn't around, then yeah, I would have to take care, handle things, take matters in my own hand and take care of it, and like literally push people out. There was a guy who almost like ran his car into
Wow.
Lukas.
What?
That's crazy.
Why?
He
was
was
so upset.
he was well, he was at a table, he wasn't at the bar, but still, like, that's the type of people that come in to Lukas. Like,
Jeez,
just
wow.
So he was just
Psycho.
pissed that he got kicked out.
he was pissed. It was so busy, and he just wanted to go sit at a table when we have reservations, you know, and
That's one
he got
way to
upset.
solve it.
I think
Yeah.
I think he needs to smoke weed.
Oh, definitely. It seemed like he was a little
down.
it seemed like he was a little coked out.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
He needed
Yeah.
something.
CBD or something.
Yeah, like,
you know?
here,
He
let me
needed
give you some
Jesus.
CBD.
That's kidding.
Yeah.
Just
Let me
kidding.
open up your third eye.
Yeah. So bartender's kind of like a conflict resolution as well.
Oh, definitely.
Like a psychologist, basically.
Oh, absolutely. We
Yeah.
have to problem solve every single day,
Yeah.
every single second.
So those
You know?
skills have probably helped you in other areas of life.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why I'm still surviving even after the accident, you know?
Yeah. Did that come
Gave
from
me a
your
strong
childhood,
mindset.
or did that come from the last couple years, basically, being in the bartending industry? And
My childhood. Whew. Let's see.
so, because as you mentioned earlier, your
Yeah,
siblings tried to make you tough.
Yeah,
you know?
no. Yeah, my sister did. They taught me both my siblings. All of my siblings.
Yeah.
All of
my siblings taught me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, my older sister, she's a trooper.
Yeah.
And she's a survivor. My second sister is a survivor too.
Yeah.
we've dealt with a lot of, she probably is going to hate me if I bring this up, but you know, there's a history of mental illness in my family.
Okay.
And I had to endure and help her through her episodes. And that made me stronger.
Yeah.
Like that definitely matured me a lot, just going through that.
Is this a singer or the other one?
That's my second sister.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's awesome for you to even talk about that, because
Yeah.
there's probably a lot of people out there dealing with it. You know, when they hear that, it could help somebody. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Everybody has some type of mental issues,
Yeah.
really.
I mean, you know, it's helped after the accident. It's helped me be aware of like my anxiety and the PTSD that I've gone through, and my depression. Oh my gosh, my depression was like, it was through the roof after the accident. And because, you know, I felt helpless, I felt useless.
How long were you not able to move for?
2 months.
2 months.
2
That's
months.
crazy.
Yeah. 2 months. I was using a cane. I had to use
gosh.
like crutches, and they tried giving me a walker, and I was like, no.
Like,
I
walker.
refuse.
Yeah.
I refuse.
You're like,
to
the
use a
cane was
walker.
bad enough.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, the cane.
East
I
Bay, you
could
could like,
be a pimp.
yeah,
lean
Big
like a
Daddy
G.
Cane, yeah. Yeah, I guess that works.
Limp like a G.
Yeah.
Yeah, no walker. I was like, I am not. No,
Yeah.
I would not succumb to a walker. But 2 months incapacitated, and it was a struggle for the past 2 years. Like seeing a chiropractor, seeing acupuncturist, seeing a therapist. Like I've never seen a therapist ever. Although, I mean, everybody needs a therapist.
Everybody
let's be real.
does.
Yeah.
You know? And if you don't, that you're probably the one. You say you don't, you're probably the one that needs it
You're
the most.
probably a narcissist if you
or a narcissist,
if you say
right.
that you don't need a therapist, because everybody can use a therapist. It's been life changing.
Yeah.
My therapist has been amazing, but I was a mess. I was a hot mess, like with the depression and the anxiety. Getting into a car, I would have like so much anxiety.
Imagine,
I had so much anxiety afterwards, and
did
I
your
couldn't
body
sleep.
have any type of like muscle memory trauma?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would clench up all the
Yeah.
time, and I couldn't sleep because of it. I had like 2, maybe 3 hours of sleep every night, if that.
The reason I asked that is because after my car accident, I actually got hit by an armored car.
Oh,
But
wow.
it's a long story.
Is that why you have the herniated
Yeah.
disc?
But I was very fortunate
sorry.
because the car was kind of turning, and there was a stoplight that it hit before me. So the cop said, if this stoplight was not here, you probably would not be here either.
Oh, wow.
So I basically got saved by a stoplight. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But for years, I would drive.
Grateful for you being here, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You too as well. I would drive like leaning forward like someone's going to hit me. And people would be in my car and be like, why are you leaning forward? I'm like, am I leaning forward? I don't even realize it.
It's unconscious.
Because the body's like preparing for impact.
Yeah.
You know what I
Fight
mean?
or
For
flight.
years, my body was like ready for impact in my car. Now I'm okay, but it probably took 10 years for my body to kind of relax and just kind of like go back and go like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
They say that the body stores trauma.
Yeah.
And the body
really does.
stores memory as well. Something like that. There's a book about that.
Memory of the trauma. Yeah. It's definitely, I feel it's ingrained in me. Like I mean, I'm a lot better now.
Yeah.
Still not 100%, but right after the accident, every time I got in a car to go see my chiropractor, like I got in an Uber to see my chiropractor, and I would just be like holding on for dear life, and I would have to tell my Uber driver, like, can you please slow down? They're like, I've never had anybody ask me to slow down. People usually want to get to their destination quickly, and I'm like, I have PTSD. I just got in an accident. I need you to please understand me and hear me out. If I say that I need you to slow down, I need you to slow down because I'm having a lot of anxiety right now.
Wow.
And you know, before, I mean, I feel like people are so ashamed of speaking upon depression and anxiety and PTSD and just the mental illness in general, and I'm so open about it.
That's
I'm like
great.
an open book, and I'm just like, okay, this is prevalent, this is existing in my life. I'm the type of person that like I need to get it out of my system in order,
so it helps you deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I started writing more. I started doing my poetry. I started singing.
It geared you more towards being artistic and creative.
Yeah. I painted a lot actually when I was incapacitated. My mom was so mad at me. I paint, like my friends would drop off like canvases and paints to me, and I started painting. I'm like, I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So I would just force myself up for like 30 minutes or an hour, just do a quick painting during that time. So I still have some of those paintings, but yeah, I had an art show that was called The Healing Process.
Okay.
With all of my artwork that I did post
while you were
recovering, while I was incapacitated, recovering,
right.
or even going back to work after going back to work. But yeah, it's been very therapeutic to just be able to explore that creative side so much more. And I think what it did was kind of opened up. It just made me realize, okay, life is short.
Right.
We don't have much time. I could have died.
Right.
I could have died. So I'm like, I'm going to do everything in my power to not suppress that fear that I have within myself anymore, because it's people literally live with fear all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what stops us. I mean, I feel like everybody's creative, right? Everybody has that side. They just haven't tapped into it. So for me, since I have had the opportunity to be able to tap into it fully and completely, I'm diving deep. Now I'm doing my artwork. Now I'm painting. Now I'm writing music. Now I'm singing with a band.
Wow.
I'm like, everything that I've manifested, it's all the things that I've wanted to do, but everything that I dreamed of, but I was afraid to do it.
The fear just got wiped out.
Yeah.
Actually,
really
I think it just gave you courage, because I don't think fear ever goes away, but people are courageous.
Stage fright is prevalent in my life.
But you developed courage through your adversity, because you kind of made it through, and now you're courageous, because even though you might still have the fear, you're like, well, you know what? I understand that life is precious, so I'm not going to waste any more time. And maybe all that work ethic from a kid is now showing up in your creativity as well.
Yeah, you're definitely a warrior, like your older sister.
Thank you.
I just want to say that I'm really proud of you. I know I told you this because when I met her, it was maybe 5 years ago. I don't remember. But we would, party. We had a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, you were in a relationship.
I met you with my ex. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after all that, I felt like, and I saw it too, you were like freeing yourself and doing all the things that you love.
After my
art,
relationship,
poetry, and just like you're blooming, basically. Internal expansion. So
yes,
it was a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Well, it's like a butterfly, right? So
transformation.
Yeah, before they become a butterfly, they have to be wrapped in this cocoon, and then they have to fight to get out.
Exactly.
So you kind of were wrapped in the cocoon, so to speak.
That's funny that you say that. I have a candle that has it's from Raven's Wing, or it used to be Secret Well, and it's a crystal store, and it has like a transformation little quote on there, and it's a little cocoon and a butterfly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's on my altar.
That's crazy.
It's funny that you brought that up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what life did. It wrapped you in a cocoon, but then you forced your way out, and now you're flourishing like a butterfly.
I honestly believe that you are definitely divinely protected.
Yes.
You have all these gifts and talents, and it's also a gift to us. You as an artist, like seeing your artwork is definitely it's a gift, both ways.
Thank you.
So thank you. Gracias.
So talk to us more about your art. So what's your favorite medium, or the most successful medium right now?
Favorite medium. Well, I normally work with acrylic and resin.
Okay.
I first started off with acrylic. I love acrylic because it's just, you can go so many ways with it. I like to do pour art, so it's basically you mix the acrylic with pour gel, and then you pour it onto the canvas and kind of move it around. And the resin kind of coats. I do that as a coat.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of people have been loving my resin work.
Okay.
Jo has, she just bought a set of coasters that I created.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you guys.
Yeah. And it's been, the coasters have been a hit. The resin work is, everybody loves, and I've been having a lot of commission work, which I'm so blessed for.
That's awesome.
I did not ever imagine that my life would be like, I'm so swamped with commission work, and I can't keep up.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have.
And so for people who don't understand what commission work is, can you explain that?
So commission work is when a client asks you to basically create something for them, especially for them, whether it's colors that they want specifically or a painting that you did before that they got inspired for. That's a commission work. So they pay you to create something like specifically for them.
So you're in demand now, basically.
Yeah.
People know your stuff and they say, we want your art
Yes.
as part of our projects.
Oh, yeah.
That's
it's
amazing.
Kind of to hear someone else say it is kind of like, yeah, that is my life right now.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I would love to be a full-time artist. I mean, I feel like I can't leave the industry, the restaurant industry or the service industry, because it's like my passion too. But full-time artist, that is my goal.
Maybe you need to figure out a way where you can do both.
I mean, I'm doing that right now, but I would love to have
them intertwined somehow. How would that be? Maybe have your own restaurant or bar with art shows.
Well, that is that it's funny that you brought that up, because I have thought about like opening up my own crystal store, because I'm inspired by crystals.
Crystals, okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, I can see it, right? Yeah.
I'm very inspired by crystals, and they have healed me so much, and so I want to open up my own crystal store and possibly have it be like half crystal store, half art studio.
Okay.
Have different artists and have it be like a gallery as well, where people, where local artists can show their work.
Right.
I also want like different vendors to come through and like support local vendors. Like my friend, she sells CBD.
Yeah.
Sites High Elevation. Shout out to Sites High.
There you go.
Elevation, please support. Yeah, I've been already partnering up with her. We vend at the lake together, so it's like I already know that she's gonna be like a business partner of mine, because I'm an Aquarius, she's a Scorpio, and those two are great.
Scorpio.
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, great business partnership. So, I definitely would love to open up my own place, but I don't even know how I would do the whole bartending thing.
Just
there.
basically, when you have art shows, have liquor served, and you have your own little.
You would need
store.
a liquor license, which is very expensive.
But has there ever been anything that's like an art show with a liquor license and a crystal thing mixed together?
Probably not. I don't
Well,
think
you could
so.
be the
It would
first.
definitely-